Today we're recapping the game between Florida State and LSU. And before we get started, I've got a question for you all. Can you see that? What's all over my face? Yeah, that's the egg that's all over my face after predicting that LSU would beat Florida State in this one. No, but all joking aside, it's still go Tigers. So with that said, let's jump into why Florida State came out victorious in this one. So when I went back and watched this game for a second time, the first thing that really stuck out to me was how effective and really remarkable Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis was, particularly in third and long situations. Now, coming into the game, I thought it was imperative that Florida State's offense was going to stay on schedule in order to have success in this one. But there were times, especially in the first half, where Florida State got into a third and long situation and they were able to convert. So that's credit to quarterback Jordan Travis and the rest of that offense. The second thing I noticed is that for the totality of the game and for the duration of the whole game, I felt like Florida State's offense was a little more willing and a little more committed to the run game, if you will. And I think that set themselves up for more manageable situations later on in the game. For instance, once LSU scored their first touchdown of the game to make it 17-10, Florida State turned around, had possession of the ball, and ran the ball 3 straight times, converting on a third and short. So I think the culmination of sticking to the run throughout the duration of the game really wore down LSU's defensive front just enough, not too much, but just a bit, to get those manageable third downs later in the game. Whereas LSU's offense was a little more pass happy early on. Now, maybe the coaching staff figured that that was the best way to attack that Florida State's defense, but I think in both instances for both teams, you had a younger, inexperienced offensive line, and I think when you have that, it does help if you're more committed to running the ball, just to wear down that opposing front a little bit. So those were the two things that really stuck out to me in this one, that Jordan Travis really played a great game, not only in the first half, but in the second half, as he made critical plays at critical times. And then overall, with each young offensive line, I thought Florida State did a better job of staying committed to the run game, which helped their own offensive line throughout the duration of the game. And then the last point I'll make, the other observation I had, was just how tense that environment was. I mean, especially watching it back a second time and getting a closer look at it. I mean, both coaching staffs, both teams, both fan bases, you could just feel the tension in that Superdome. The fact that it was a standalone game in prime time with two programs that are trying to get off on the right foot. And I think that took an effect on the game, if you will. I mean, there were muffed punts. Florida State fumbled at the end of the game, giving LSU a chance. You know, it was not a perfect game by any means. So I just came away from the game thinking, wow, that environment really affected both teams in good and bad ways, as it was a significant factor in the game to me. So with that said, I still think each of these teams can have a pretty good season. I thought it was a somewhat high-level game. Obviously not as high level as, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, but again, each of these teams can have successful seasons. So with that said, that's going to do it for this one. Stay on the lookout for some episodes regarding college football games that are coming up in week 2, like Alabama, Texas, like South Carolina, Arkansas, other games like that. And thanks for watching again. Stay tuned.